Okay, so here's Lizzie Walsh in lane 1, 200 IM, I believe. I know what meet this is from, and so I have splits over here on my phone I'll talk about at the end. Let's start with the start, obviously. So, why isn't it working? Okay, so on the start, first thing I notice is the elbows are super high right here, and as I bet whenever the buzzer goes off, you're going to drop them. And you do. So right here, you're flexed super hard, you're creating tension in your shoulders. So obviously that tension is going to cause you to react a little bit slower. And then your elbows are high, so now your elbows are dropping, which is unnecessary movement. Also, this could just be the quality and the angle and everything, but the foot kind of looks like it's a little bit sideways and probably a little bit higher than I'd like. Obviously, starts are kind of personal preference, and we don't have a wedge at practice right now, but that's definitely something I'd like to take a look at when we get there. Off the start, your legs and your arms are the first things to react, which is good. In the air, the head comes up, which is fine because you recover here with the upper body. The lower body is pretty low. The hips are flat with the water, basically, and so the splash doesn't lie. We need to bring those hips up. Like I said, the upper body was a good angle, but the lower body could help you out a little bit more than it did. Those underwater kicks are super limited. Like it's a fine up kick, and you flick well with the ankle on the down kick, but the range of motion is lacking, which is a super common problem with most swimmers at any level, really. Okay, so get into the butterfly. I have this as a 29 split. The breathing is, I'll pause it here on the next 25. The breathing is my biggest concern with your butterfly based off of this video and a little bit of what I've seen in practice. So we come out of here, I'll pause it on the breaths here. So we're breathing, you're taking the breath as you exit the water, which is fine, but then you're riding the breath for a while and you're only starting to tuck your head now that your arms are in line with your head. And by the time your head's like all the way back in the water, you're basically at the Y position. And so you got to be quicker on the timing of your breath. Otherwise, a higher chin is causing your hips to be lower, and so there's more water resistance there. It's also taking more energy to be in that position, and so it's just a minor timing thing which we can definitely tweak. Like, real quick, not that this girl's technique is perfect, but the girl up here above you, like she taking her breath and her head is all the way down by the time her arms are in line with her head, and so I'm not going to break down her stroke too much, but just something a little closer to that would be good. Coming into the wall. So what you're doing here, and I did watch this before I recorded it, and what you did here and on your breaststroke turn, like you kind of dive down towards the wall to turn, and then you are still grabbing the top of the wall. So there's really, not that diving down is great, but like you're diving down and then touching the wall, so you almost make like this banana shaped with your body in the water, and really just want to hit the water straight on, or hit the wall straight on, and you don't need to grab the wall. We can just bounce off the fingertips. Okay, we're coming off of here for some backstroke. Backstroke split I have is a 32. The biggest thing with backstroke, this doesn't look as bad as it did in practice the other day. Not that it looked terrible in practice, but it just kind of looked choppy. The big thing, though, is the legs. Like, I'll pause it again on the next 25. I feel like that's a better angle. But here, there's a lot of your upper leg coming out of the water before your up kick. And your up kick, you have a good flick about it. But at what cost, really? So that's something I want to take a look at. The way your arm's looking in practice isn't quite like this, so I don't know if that was just like a rough day at practice or what. So the breakout, what shoulder was it? Okay, so I'm fine with that arm for the breakout. Your arms do a nice job at grabbing the water and staying deep. You could probably afford to rotate a smidge more. This is only a 50, and the IM is 450 sprint, so I'm not super concerned about that in this race. Whenever I get to the 400 IM, I guess I'll talk about it a little more. Let's see, like right here. No. Let's go to the next one. So right here, look at this whole thigh and knee is basically out of the water. And then the flick right here is awesome, but we're just doing it. We're not doing it the right way. So and that's a minor correction with the kick. We can fix that, no problem. Coming into the turn. Ooh, yeah, this is there's a couple crossover turns that you can do. This is my favorite crossover turn, and you do it real clean. You're exactly horizontal, which is awesome. The breaststroke split is 36. This split impresses me the most. Overall, breaststroke technique for you is super good. The biggest thing is going to be your how far down you're bringing your elbows when you breathe. So if we look right here out of the pull out, so your elbows are coming way down here, and then you have to recover all the way up front. You can keep them on the initial out sweep as you're sweeping your elbows in towards each other. You don't need to drop them this far down. Like, look how far down that is. So if we look again, like, nice press out. This is a good position to start the catch. But then the catch, instead of squeezing those elbows together, you're really dropping the elbows down here by your body. And so I feel like if you just sweep out, and once you start to catch, really like sweep those elbows together, think about sweeping the elbows together, it'll help you avoid dropping the elbows so low, and it keeps things more in front of you and more forward, a little more power in that position too. So like I said with the butterfly turn, like you're diving down here, like you're completely underwater, but then you're grabbing the top of the wall to turn. Your walls in this are very crisp and quick, so that's lucky for you. On the freestyle, while the left arm's closest to us, if you look, you're flicking it out by the hip. That was not a great angle, but you're flicking it out by the hip, and then the momentum you're having it take you sideways, and then you're entering the water a little closer to your head than I would like. Like if the ideal position is to hit it in line with your shoulder, you're hitting it a little bit more inward than you should. And then to recover, like I think you can see it here with your right arm actually. Like you're hitting in line with your head, and then you're starting to sweep out to recover to where you need to pull. And as you initiate the pull from there, it's causing you, like you're losing control and efficiency and power by entering at the wrong spot, overcorrecting, and trying to swing into it, especially because it's a sprint race. It kind of has your pull all over the place. And so as we come into the wall here, I have, nice job keeping your head down at the finish. I have that your split there was 30 point. So obviously in breaststroke, like most people know, the key is having a good breaststroke. In the IM, the key is to have a good breaststroke split. You split a 36 here, which is really, really well done for especially a high school female and underclassmen at that when you did this. And so that's obviously a strength, and we keep working on the strengths. But kind of a low-key strength is your butterfly split being a 29 and your freestyle split being a 30 point. A lot of times I tell my swimmers to go out hard, not hard, but like go out strong in the fly, and then you want to bring it back as close to the fly split as you can with the goal of having the same split on the free as the fly. And so for you to be within a second, I think is very impressive. Given how good you are at butterfly, like you can probably be out just a hair faster, and it's something to play around with throughout the season. Because your backstroke being 32 after only going out at 29, like I don't know if you go out faster, like at what cost will that have for the backstroke? So that's something to take into consideration too as we go throughout the season, kind of play around with some different race strategies at meets. But overall, that's a good race, 2:08, assuming I pulled the splits from the right meet. Oh, nicely done. Hopefully I was recorded.